group. They are a member of the Black Chamber, so we're going to hear more about what they do, how the Chamber helps them.
All right.
All yours, take it away.
Okay, let's see if we can get technology to work for us. Let's see if I can get my eyes to work. Okay, great. Let's turn this on. How are you all this morning? My name is Tim Williams, and I'm the founding member of the Organization Transformation Group. You call me Tim. Some people call me Dr. Tim. My wife always tells me that I'll let people call me Dr. Tim because she said it costs so much to get the doctor piece, so I take full advantage of that, right? So, and then the other thing too, here's the other thing. People are uncomfortable once they find out that I've got a PhD, are uncomfortable not calling me doctor. Can you imagine that? I don't have a problem with it, but some people do. So sometimes they say, okay, you can call me, but don't call me Dr. Williams. You can just call me just Tim or Dr. Tim. That works. So either of that work. Here's some ground rules for today. Shakayla told me yesterday that I got like 2 hours, so I'm thinking we're going to use all that. Maybe about 5 minutes short. Okay? And so this shouldn't take too long. And I'd like to talk to you about my company and what we do. But I'm okay with you asking questions as I go. Okay, it's not going to be complicated. It's going to be fairly simple and to the point. So it's something that I say that you say, hey, wait a minute, I'm okay with that. Matter of fact, I'm used to teaching class. I mean, I've taught class before, so this is almost like one of the classes that I've taught. Okay, so let's hop into it. Is that okay with you? Any questions so far? All right. Organization Transformation Group. Let's talk about who we are. To understand who we are, we're a group of associates, and we've got about 100, that group, and I'll show you some pictures of my folks in just a minute. We've got 150 plus years of Fortune 100 experience, okay? So we've actually have experience in, not small companies, pretty big companies, okay? Matter of fact, I worked for P&G for almost 30 years, and reached the executive level in the HR environment there. Okay, and I also did, you see them in so much other stuff along the way. We got expertise in organization development, leadership development, and human resource administration. So we're HR folk. Okay, I'm an HR guy. All right, now for some folks that may scare you, and for some folks, you know, that may be you might have your image of what an HR person is. We're not police. You know, some people think HR people are police. And then some people think HR folk just simply tell you what you can't do. All right. We don't really function like that. I came up in an organization where HR folk were responsible for the HR administrative stuff. That was the base stuff. Okay. But we were also responsible for growing leadership. And we were also responsible for organization development or the performance of the organizations that we were accountable for. Okay, so we didn't just come in and say, hey, they're going to sue you, you need to do this. Okay, or you can't do that, you can't do that. We didn't do that. We had to come in and actually work with our teams to make them more effective. We also had to work with our employees to make them more effective because we had to help them make money. That was the deal, okay? And that meant that the majority of my folks that in this group, we actually have, which is unique about us, we actually have experience managing people. All right, I managed manufacturing operations the first half of my career. Technically, I'm actually an engineer, mechanical engineer. All right, that's where I started. So most of us did work in manufacturing operations. Okay, but as you grow, you start to get into the corporate arena. So I've had experience in corporate arena too, and most of my folks do also. So at the companies that we work, the goal was just not to be HR. It was actually to be org development, grow people, strengthen the organization, org design, that kind of stuff. So that's what we do. Okay, here lead associates. I don't want to go through each one of the names, but I want to just see the faces of the folk. You see, I've got a diverse group of people. Most of these folk I've worked with, I kind of handpicked them because they share that same concept and mindset that the goal is not to just come in and just tell you the rules, but to actually hop in and say, hey, look, we're partners in this. Let me help you see some things that could help you, your organization do better and make you money. Okay? Now, when you think about what we do, we operate from a simple premise. And this is simple. High-performing organizations equal higher business profit. Wait a minute. You don't have to go to college to get that, right? If your employees are functioning better, doing the best they can, if they're productive at the highest level, your business is going to make more money. That's what it equals. This is hard sometimes to get my potential clients to see, but once they see it, we typically can help them find out those areas where their people can actually make them money. A lot of companies basically see their people as an expense, right? A necessary evil sometimes, right? They really don't see their folk as an investment, okay, that you ought to take and nurture so that you get greater value out of it. So many times they don't want to, we'll invest in infrastructure, right? We'll put in new buildings, we'll put in new equipment, we'll put in new research for intellectual property, research for a new product, but then when you start talking about people, then it's not so much. Believe it or not, the investment that you put into people, right, there's a greater return in most instances. Yeah, probably in a higher likelihood of instances, right? Can I give you an example? Okay. Just recently, I worked with a company down in Georgia, and I think Robert may have shared this because it's the one that's supposed to be one of the recently. We did for them what's called an organization health assessment. They were number 4 in their performance compared to their 5 sister plants, global company, right? And they were sucking in pretty bad from the standpoint of performance. I had convinced their leadership to let me come in and do what's called an organization health assessment. And basically what that is we send some questions out to their people. They answer those questions. We analyze it and say, let's penetrate deeper. And we talk focus groups with their folk and get answers to why they answered that way. Okay? The leaders come up with the questions. They also come up with the deeper questions. And we ask their folk, and their folk tell us. We summarize it, look at it, and we use our expertise to say, hey, here are the critical issues. Okay? And then we tell the leaders that. That's simple, isn't it? Takes you about 2 weeks, right? Week of planning. Whenever you want to execute 3 or 4 days, talk to their folk. There was 350 people, we talked to about 70 of them. Okay? Once we finished, we got the answers, we gave it to the folk, we helped them structure an action plan. I'm sorry. I need to move over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better? Okay. We helped them structure an action plan, and they started to execute. In 6 months, they went from 4 to 2 in their performance. Right? No infrastructure changes. Okay? No huge process changes except for the ones that their people recommended when we talked to them. All right? One of the things that their leadership team told me is that, we don't talk to our people. They don't tell us anything. You know what I told them? I said, hey, you know what? Whatever problems you got, your people have the answers. I know they do. I said, yeah, they do. I found that I worked in Japan, I worked in Belgium, I worked in China, I worked in a whole bunch of places, right? And it doesn't matter. If you got a problem, 9 times out of 10, your folks know the answer, right? If you talk to them, they'll tell you if they trust you. They don't trust you, they're not going to tell you, okay? So we become this liaison where we just say, this is the data that you want? Yep. Here's the data that they want. Could you tell us? Yep. Here's the data that they told us. What are you going to do about it? Okay, do these things. And they start to execute. 6 months, we start making them money. Just that simple. Okay? That's how that works. And we operate from that premise. Okay, too far. So, simply what we do, we help our clients increase profit for our increasing employee engagement. It's just that simple, right? If employees are engaged, they're gonna make you money. Now, the profit piece, I think you probably understand what it is. Sometimes people don't understand what the word engagement is. You know, it's one of those terms that, one of those HR terms that has evolved over the years. At one point, it was kind of job satisfaction, and then it was employee satisfaction, and now it's engagement. And now they say engagement is not really employee satisfaction. Okay, nah. Okay. Huh?
Personal terms.
Yeah, but anyhow, we keep it simple. Employee engagement just means you got employees that are fully involved and fully cooperative. That's what we look for. That's what we're trying to get to. Now, the involved piece just means they're committed, they're passionate about what they do, they're doing what they like. Okay, they're committed to the company's goals and vision. They see it as their part in it. All right, and they're going after it with all the energy that any business owner would. The cooperation piece is that they're not fighting you, right? They're working with you as a leader. They're working with the people around you, right? They're listening, they're talking, they're communicating, all right? There's synergy. You guys know what that means. That's taking place all the time, okay? So there's full cooperation when there's engagement. You have to have those in order for engagement to take place, okay? Now, when you got that, people are fully involved, morale is high. You guys know what morale is? Okay, I'll give you that definition in just a minute. When people are cooperating, there's no conflict, or there's minimal conflict, right? You gotta have some. Some conflict is healthy, right? Because with some conflict, if I have a conflict with you, then that tells me there's something we need to resolve to make both of us better, right? So when we have none, okay, that thing that could be better, right, is just kind of sitting out there costing us money. So we want some conflict, but what we want to be able to do is cooperate to resolve. Most of the times when we're losing money is because we don't. So we help our clients point to the morale and take a look at the conflict, okay, and then we help them try to fix that. So we take and increase morale, we help them reduce conflict. Employees are happy at work. I had a guy say, I don't care about my people being happy at work. I just want them to do what I want them to do.
Get a robot.
Okay, keep going. I didn't call him this, but I thought it. Idiot. Okay. Right? No, you don't just want them to do what you want them to do. You want them to do what you want them to do with a level of enthusiasm that produces excellence. You want them to do it to the degree that they would do it if they thought of it and wanted to do it. You want them to own doing it, okay? And that's what makes you money. So you want them happy about it. You know, I had my son, I used to try to get him up in the morning to cut grass on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. This wouldn't work, right? Because I used to be an early riser. So come on, we're going to get up before the sunrise. Get this done, because I don't like heat. We just moved back to Georgia from Ohio. Don't like heat. We're going to couldn't get him up. But he liked to fish, right? But if I could tell him we're going fishing on Saturday morning, he'd be up at 5 o'clock. All this stuff in the garage, sitting there waiting on me, right? Know why? What's different? Yeah, he wanted to go fishing. He didn't want to cut the grass, right? You want your people who want to go fishing with the work that they do every day. Okay? So you want them happy about it. And the conflict, we define conflict a little bit differently. It's not just fighting one another, right? It's not tension from an interpersonal person. It can be that. We can help you resolve that. But it's where it's anything that happens in the workplace, any disagreement that disrupts the workflow. Right? That gets in the way of getting something done. It could be you have a different understanding of a work process than I do. And we've got to work together on it. Right? You think green, I think red. Or the procedure says green, but you're thinking red. All right? There's a conflict there. So I need to convince you red. Hey, no, man, look, red. And you say, I thought green. And then you say, red. I said, red, baby, red. And then the conflict goes away. And we're both doing red. Now, that's simple. You know, I'm giving to you simple, but that's the kind of stuff that in the workplace, it causes you productivity losses. And so that's what we're after. Questions about this so far? Anything? Yeah.
I actually wrote down a question. You were talking about how you have all your associates, so do they each use different mediums, or what do you guys use to do these assessments?
Yeah, we use tools that I've used in the past. Some of them I've developed myself.
Okay.
Because you get this DR by your name, you can just make up stuff. You can. But it works.
Like I personally have done like the Berkman. Some people do personality tests.
Yeah. We use DISC.
Okay.
All right. I've used Myers-Briggs for a personality profile. We use for organization design. We use like the OP model. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. So we use OP model for design, and we over the years we've developed tools and practices that have worked in manufacturing environments that we've worked in, that we developed on, and we just incorporate them in what we do. And so there's some instances where we'll come into your organization and say, hadn't seen that before, know what you're trying to get to, and we'll just design it for you, whatever the process may be. We do a lot of customized kind of stuff, depending on what you need to have done, whether it's training or some system that you need. What we do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So, why we do it? Here's the profit part. I want to give you some facts. It's estimated that 22 million, there are 22 million actively disengaged employees in the U.S. last year. They cost $350 billion $350 billion last year in the U.S. Right? That's the Gallup organization said that. $350 billion. All right, that's a lot of money. 80% of the workers feel stress on the job. Right? When you're stressed, you ain't happy. Right? Because you normally don't have stress when you happy. Right? Some of it's workload, some of it's conflict or people issues where people are not feeling happy at work. Conflict. U.S. employees spend about 3 hours. I'm sorry.
Could you go back to that slide?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
Right.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. About 3 hours each week dealing with work, place conflict. Okay, now this is, I don't think this is not a conflict that deals with my definition. Okay? But so this is probably not talking about conflict associated with just process differences and that. This is probably people, interpersonal kind of stuff, right? Probably mostly dealing with bosses. Okay, but $350 billion a year. This one, $24 billion. Isn't that strong?
Yeah.
It's from Gallup.
Isn't that strong? Hate their boss. That even more say that their boss being fired will make them happier than receiving a raise.
Wow.
Now here, look. There's another stat. I don't have it up here, but last year, the SHRM organization, Society of Human Resource Managers, they published a report last year that said last year companies lost $250 billion. Okay, with employees leaving companies because of bad culture. Okay, and they blame culture on leaders, on managers, on their bosses. Well,
I was wondering, Mr. Williams, when you said
you call me Tim.
this is fine, Tim.
Okay.
You were saying how you work in other countries. So this is pretty much, I'm pretty sure, based on American statistics.
Yep.
I mean, I know, like you said, Belgium, and I think you said also like Japanese, that's like more than Eastern civilization organization. How does those cultures? How would you rate kind of like those stats maybe?
Yeah. I mean, the stats.
They're the word.
Yeah, in like Japan, in those countries, in China, the culture is more, how would one describe it? They're more about doing what you tell them.
Exactly.
They really are, okay? What you find, though, is that you can still optimize performance if you have leaders who, they still want the people interaction, right? They still want to be able to trust their leaders, and they'll perform better, right? So I got a person here that's in Japan. They're going to do what I tell them because that's just their culture.
It's expected.
It's expected,
Right.
and that's where they get pride in. But if I got a leader that tells me what they do, and not only do I trust them, right, and they are loyal to me, they're displaying some behaviors that are different than this other leader that is just rude based, they're going to perform better, right? This, what I'm telling you, really it's not so much culturally driven. It can be muffled by culture, okay? This is human driven, okay? It's human driven, right? People,
It
human.
is human driven.
Yes.
The culture starts at the top, which drives human behavior.
Absolutely, absolutely. But my point is that culture, when you go into China, those locations, you do have to factor in culture. But the base of this is trust. Okay? So you figure out what trust looks like in the culture, and you drive that.
My statement was based on the U.S. not before.
Say again now?
My statement was based on the U.S.
Yes. But your point is a very smart one. Yep. Yes.
So in any culture, you rise by lifting others.
I didn't hear that.
I said in any culture, you rise by lifting others, not yourself.
Yeah, you rise by understanding that one of the biggest problems I tell leaders, one of the biggest issues with leaders is that they don't see their people the way they would want their boss to see them. Right? How should you treat this person? I'm going to treat you the way I want this guy to treat me. Now, that's not perfect, but it's a good place to start. Right? If you don't want your boss yelling, screaming at you, if you don't want your boss, right, looking over your shoulder all the time and trying to point to the negative about you, if you don't want your boss, okay, disrespecting your capability by calling you ignorant or not cherishing what you bring to the table, don't do it up there. Don't do that. That's a good place to start. Does that make sense? Lifting other people up. Makes sense. Okay? So, the way we do that, the way we increase morale, which is what our expertise is, we do organization development, and I'll tell you a little bit about what that is. In the conflict piece, we focus a lot on leadership development. We do some work, she's wrapping me up. We do some work with team development, that's all. But most of the time we start with leadership. Right? That's really where you start, because that's the crux. Okay? Here's a look at how we do it. I mentioned organization health success, there's other analysis and systems and stuff that we do. Leadership development, coaching. We do executive coaching, and then we work on the HR side, where you might have HR systems that we need to shore up. We can help with that. Here's a training session that we got coming up in March. If you got a leader that first time leading, this would be perfect for them. A leader that is a really dynamic from the standpoint of giving results for their development when it comes to people, right? This would be a good course for them. Or someone who's been leading for a long time, or leading for a while, but they just got some stuff that, hey, you know what? I just need to know how to fix this, fix that, fix this. Because we do a lot of dialogue, and you see my flavor. This is what I do when I train people. So that would be helpful. Eventbrite, if you're listening, looking for that. So we help our clients increase profit by increasing employees' engagement. Questions?
I have one final question.
Okay.
Before we transition over to the next speaker. But it was going to be temp agencies working with how you focus in HR. Do you work with any temp agencies to an extent, or will you? Or how?
Yeah, I work with any organization that have people that breathe. Right? If they breathe, we can help them perform. Any other questions? And if it's more than two, we can work with you. And we can work with you even if there's one.
So, how can we, as a community, help you?
Yeah, she said do that. I'm going to put some business cards up here. We're looking for new business startup in this area. Most of my clients are outside of Augusta except for one. And we really would like to offer this to the Augusta, the businesses in this area, small businesses. And I say small, 50 to 300 employees is about what we're looking for. And look for these things, right? Complaints about work environment, and you can see some of the complaints you might see. Complaints about poor management, right? And people talk about their jobs, okay? Okay? And then just, say, hey, look, I heard about this guy. His name is Dr. Tim. He has an organization that I think might be helping, and give him my card, my name, my whatever it may be. Give it to him, and we're going to help him.
So Tim, one last question to kind of wrap it up. In 2020, it's already a fact. Statistics saying that most people have jobs and change jobs at an alarming rate this year already. For this year coming up projected. So why did 50% of people don't have a job? In your opinion, why are folks staying in their jobs so much? For this year previously. If half the people don't like their job, you said according to the Gallup statistics, why do most folks stay?
You know what? Most people are scared.
Fear.
Yeah, it's fear-based. But now, this new generation of millennials, man, they ain't scared of nothing, right? They're going to leave. If it's not happening for them within a year or two, they're gone, right? They're gone. Matter of fact, what I'm talking to you about today is probably the only thing that I've seen so far that will keep those folk there for a while, right? And if you don't, and camaraderie amongst themselves, and then leadership that actually focuses in on them, right? That's what keeps this generation in the boat. Other than that, they're gone.
I appreciate that.
Okay? Thank you.
It's a news
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.